Again, good morning, grade 10. We'll be jumping now to our next topic,
Good
which is
morning.
reproductive system. Okay? We'll be discussing about how our reproductive system is working on, what are the processes involved, even the hormones involved in the male and the female reproductive system. Okay? This is now the time that you will realize how God created us and how important the reproductive system is. Without the reproductive system, there is no continuation of generation. Okay? There's no passing of traits. So the genetics is actually connected to the reproductive system. That is why in grade 9, you'll be taking genetics, and in grade 10, you'll be taking the reproductive system. Although this topic is quite sensitive, but for me, it's really interesting. You know what? You know why it makes things interesting or makes this topic interesting? Simply because it is driven by hormones. Now you realize the chemicals involved in the reproductive system and how our hormones are actually acting on it. Okay, let me share my screen. Can you see my shared screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So even though we are now in the discussion time, you can still interact. You can still ask questions anytime. Just just let me know. Okay. And if you have concerns, just let me know. Right. So the reproductive system, I actually created this one as simple as possible in order for us to understand further. Reproduction is the biological process by which a new individuals are produced to continue the existence of a given species. Okay, that's what I have told you a while ago. Without this, there is no continuation of the generation or the species. Two different organisms produced in different ways. They have one and the same goal. This is to perpetuate one species on Earth. This is the goal of the reproduction. Let's move now to the male reproductive system. Okay, male reproductive system performs the following functions: secretion of male hormone. Number one, please take note. Production of sperm cells or gametes. That's two, and that's the transfer of sperm cells. Again, these are the three functions of the male reproductive system. Again, if you have questions, please let me know so that I can address your concerns. The male gonads are the testes hanging in the scrotum. Okay? In mammals, sperm production requires a slightly lower temperature than the human body. That is why scrotum hangs loosely outside the body cavity. So meaning to say, it needs a lower temperature. Remember that our body temp, what is the normal body temperature? The human body temperature?
37.
37, correct. Okay, 36
37 degrees.
to 37 degrees. That's the normal human body temp. Okay, so the sperm cell needs a lower temperature in order for it to maintain um, its life. Okay, higher than that, it can actually kill this sperm cells. Ideally, during the seventh and eighth month of fetal development, the testes of the fetus descend into the scrotum. However, the testes fail to descend. It leads to sterility because of the inhibiting effect of the normal body temperature on sperm development. So this is the reason why gender, when we are talking about gender in babies or in pregnant women, they usually test or they usually have ultrasound in order to check on the gender of the baby in the seventh or eighth month. They are now checking on the reproductive organs. Okay, this is now the parts of the male reproductive system. As you can see, the problem with it's not a problem. The the unique characteristic of the male reproductive system is it is actually mixed or joined with the urinary system. So again, it is actually joined with the urinary system. That's actually one of the unique characteristic of the male reproductive system. So aside from this is penis is um for reproduction, it is also used as a urinary system, or it is actually used in the urinary system. Okay, please familiarize the terminologies being used there because it will come out in your major exam. The testes has compartments that contain tightly coiled tubes called seminiferous tubules. These seminiferous tubules are actually inside the testes. Okay, these are coiled tubes. Their combined length may reach 250 meters. Correct. Sperms develop from the cells that line the seminiferous tubules. The premature sperm cells are then transported to the epididymis. If you're going to look at the testes, inside the testes, you can see actually the seminiferous tubules. And if there are some sperm that are not formed or shall we say not mature enough, it will actually transfer to the epididymis. This one. Before it can be transported into the vas deferens going to the ejaculation point. Okay. Uterine opening. Again, premature sperm cells are then transported to the epididymis to develop. When the male is sexually aroused, sperm cells will begin their journey to the vas deferens and then exiting through the urethra. Okay, going to the journey of the vas deferens. This is now the time that the sperm cells actually swim towards the egg. Now it will pass through the urethra of the male going to the vagina of the female. But in the journey, that is now the shall we say they will actually encounter a lot of obstacles. And remember that your sperm cells has limited energy. It will actually powered by or this actually powered by your flagella or flagellum. Remember the flagella and flagellum? Flagella is plural, flagellum is singular. Could you still remember flagella and flagellum? Cilia and cilium, grade 10?
No.
No.
Okay. I discussed this one in my previous grade. It's in grade 7. We were talking about organelles and I included the locomotion, organs for locomotion. These are the organs for locomotion. Okay. Now, can you still remember the um, mitochondria?
Yes.
Mitochondria, okay. The powerhouse of the cell, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And ATP, could you still remember the ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. We didn't discuss adenosine triphosphate. Okay. Adenosine triphosphate, this is actually the energy currency of the cell. And mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Okay. Mitochondria there serves as the powerhouse simply because it creates a lot of ATP for the cell to use. Now, in your flagellum, cilia, and cilium, there are a lot of mitochondria there. This is to power or to give a locomotion for your sperm cells. And the cilia now is, when you say cilia, this is a hair-like structure in your fallopian tube. This is to move the egg towards the uterus. It is also organ for locomotion. Again, cilia and flagellum cilia or cilium, flagellum plays a vital role for the locomotion of your gametes. And hopefully also, you will research further with those. You need to make it more faster simply because supposed to be you're done discussing that one in grade 7 and this is a continuation. So anyway, it's okay. You can ask questions anytime, by the way. Okay, you can ask me questions anytime. Just let me know what are those in order for me to address your concerns. Okay, now they begin their journey in the vas deferens and then exiting to the urethra. The sperm collected fluid along the way. By the way, this vas deferens, if female has ligation, male also has its own. Okay? When you remove vas deferens or when you tie up vas deferens, it will make the male infertile because this is the only tube or this is the only way the sperm exits and pass to the urethra. Without vas deferens, sperms cannot actually exit. Okay?
Excuse me, Chair.
Yes.
Is that what they call like mabaog ang
No.
guy?
When you say mabaog,
Like
there are
he
a lot
can.
of factors that infertility. Okay? Infertility, there are a lot of factors, external, internal factors. Okay?
So
When
that's
you
one of the factor, teacher.
this is one of the way to control birth or to control the population. Okay? They tie up or tied up the vas deferens in order for the sperm cells not to exit. Okay?
Okay, Chair. Thank you.
Going back to the discussion, three glands contribute fluid to the traveling sperm cells. You have three glands, the seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and the bulbourethral gland. Okay? Again, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and the bulbourethral gland. Okay, the seminal vesicle secretes a thick fluid that contains nutrients. This is to give nutrients to the sperm. The prostate gland, on the other hand, a thick milky alkaline fluid or secretes a thick alkaline fluid to counteract the acidic vagina and the urethra and activate the sperms. Again, prostate glands, this is really important. This fluid that prostate gland secretes help the sperm fight the acidic vagina. Remember that your sperm cells, these sperm cells are actually basic. You see basic, um, this is in base form. So the acidity of the vagina can actually kill the sperms all throughout the traveling time. That is why it needs to be protected by the prostate gland secretion. The bulbourethral gland or the Copper's gland produce the lubricating effect in order for the sperm to swim. Okay. Again, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and the bulbourethral gland or Copper's gland. Altogether, the sperm and the fluids make up the semen. During the male's arousal, spongy erectile tissues in the penis are actually filled with blood, causing the penis to become hard, erect, and enlarged. When sexual arousal reaches its peak, the semen is expelled during ejaculation, passing semen. However, the nervous control prevents urine from mixing. Remember what I had told you a while ago. What is the unique characteristic of the male reproductive system? The male reproductive system serves as also the main or the exit point of urine or urinary system. That is why. So, what controls it is the nervous system. Okay, prevents urine from mixing with the semen during ejaculation. What will happen if the nervous system will not control, no, the mixing of urine and semen to ejaculation? Tendency is there is
Zero,
infection, number
teacher.
one. Number two, it can actually kill the sperms since urine is acidic. Okay, again, number one, it can cause infection, and number two, it can actually kill the sperms since urine is acidic. The penis is an external sex organ that allows the transfer of semen into the vagina of the female. Let's move now to the hormones. Okay, testosterone. This is the male sex hormone. Okay, testosterone is the main sex hormone secreted by the testes. It is responsible for the normal development of the organs of the female reproductive system. It is also necessary for the maturation of sperm cells with the help of another hormone. Okay, this is one of the important hormone also, the follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, again, follicle stimulating hormone. This is FSH. Testosterone brings about the changes experienced during puberty. Okay, let's talk about those changes. Okay, are you still with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
these changes that appear at 10 to 14 years of age eventually distinguish a male from a female and are called the secondary sex characteristics. Are you familiar with the secondary sex characteristics? Right then?
Not really, but the
Not
contrary.
exactly.
Okay.
Changes in physical?
Changes of the male and the female. So, okay. Secondary sex characteristics in males include the growth of facial hair, underarm, chest, pubic, and body hair, enlargement of the voice box. That is why in voice, in male, the voice box is actually enlarged, no? And deepening of the voice, dako na ang tingog, development of the male musculature, and the increased secretion of sweat and oil. So oily na. Oily ang naong, paningto na og maayo. This is actually the effect of the rising or increased volume of testosterone. Testosterone is responsible for male muscular strength. This is why some athletes take steroids that contain testosterone or other similar compounds. However, taking steroids have been proven to produce harmful effects, including mental problems. This is the hormone therapy um, for female that wants to be male. Okay, this is actually the hormone therapy. They take testosterone in order for them to change their body. Remember that we are driven by hormones. We are driven by chemicals. Okay, one good example is um, the singer. I forgot the name. She actually takes steroids, which contains um, testosterone, and changes her voice into male. Changes also her face into male. Okay. Again, we are driven by hormones. That's why. Charis, Charis. The name is Charis. Tengko. That is the hormone therapy.
That singer?
Yeah, the singer. Let's move now. Okay, wait. Question so far. Question.
I have a question, sir.
Okay. We still have 10 minutes left. Sperm. Let's move now to sperm. Sperm is not just a simple gamete.
It's
Sperm contains now or shall we say, sperm contains the male characteristics or the male genes. Okay? A mature sperm has three main parts: the head, the middle piece or neck, and the tail. The tail propels the sperm as it swims in the fluid. Okay? The tail actually contains a lot of mitochondria, that's why I already told you. And this actually gives power to the sperm to swim. Okay? The middle piece contains mitochondria that provide the sperm with energy during its journey to the female body. And the head of the sperm contains the enzymes that break hyaluronic acid of the egg's membrane. Okay, again, the egg's membrane is covered by an enzyme, uh, hyaluronic acid. This hyaluronic acid protects the egg from any penetration. Okay, again, it will be break down if the sperm actually goes into it. Okay, the head of the sperm houses the genetic material that will eventually unite with the egg nucleus during fertilization. Are you still with me? Grade 10?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
this is your sperm. If you're going to look at your sperm, you have the head that houses the genetic material, the middle piece or mid piece, which is contains also mitochondria, and the tail, which is your flagellum. Okay. The sperm challenge. When a male ejaculates, about 200 and to 500 million sperms are actually in the semen, but only less than 1% of them make it to the egg. Okay? Why are some sperms released in millions when only one sperm and one egg would be complete in the fertilization? Releasing them in millions increases sperm chance to find the egg. Remember that your sperm travels very long and too far, and it has limited power or limited energy. That is why it needs to have millions in order for it to reach the egg. And this is now the competition. Okay, they compete towards the egg. The best genes actually inhibits, or the best genes actually make the egg um, develop or join with the egg. Meaning to say that you are lucky enough that you are born. You're lucky enough that you are the winner in that competition.
Sure, I have a question.
Yes.
How long does the sperm live?
Okay. How
Like,
long does the
it's like
sperm live? What do you mean? Inside the body or outside the body?
when it's released already.
When it's
Like
released,
if it's in the vagina of the girl child.
it will eventually die. Again, in Ario, it will eventually die. Remember the acidic vagina?
Okay.
Okay. And it loses
Okay.
energy. It will be removed in the system of the female simply because it is not part of the female reproductive system.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Remember that if there is a part of the body that is being manipulated, or you put something in the part of your body, remember the acceptance. Okay, sometimes your body rejects those. Okay, because it is not part of your system. That's what will happen in the sperm. It will eventually release, eventually secreted, because it is not part of the female reproductive system. Okay, let's move forward. The sperms face a lot of obstacles, the one I have been telling you a while ago, to reach the eggs due to the following reasons. Millions already die in the vagina due to its acidic environment. See? Some sperms lose energy to continue their journey. Some sperms go to the oviduct or fallopian tube that does not contain the egg, and they don't have energy again to travel back. Some sperms are blocked in the mucous covering of the cervix. Remember your mucosa lining? Mucus? Mucus is your sip-on. Okay? That's mucus. That is actually uh, covers your oviduct or your cervix, mucosa lining. This is to prevent or to protect the cervix. Abnormal sperm resulting from its mass production are unable to fertilize the egg. Okay? Remember that during the production of egg, the spermatogenesis, that is actually the process of creating eggs or the process of forming eggs, forming sperms, spermatogenesis. If it is faster than the usual, usually it can create a defective sperm, resulting to abnormal sperm and unable to fertilize the egg. Let's move now to the female reproductive system. Question so far with the male reproductive system? Question, grade 10?
No.
Still have 3 minutes left.
None.
How about the female reproductive system? Okay. The female reproductive system performs the following functions. Production of female sex hormones. Okay, number one. Number two, production of egg cells. Okay. Number three, receive the male sex organ for the transfer of sperms. Number four, protection and nourishment of the developing embryo because you have your uterus. Okay, again, production of female sex hormones, production of egg cells, receive the male sex organ for the transfer of sperms, protection and nourishment of the developing embryo. That's the function of the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system includes the ovaries, fallopian tube, uterus, and the vagina. Those are the parts, or the main parts of the female reproductive system. The pair of ovaries lying on the right and left depressions of upper pelvic cavity. That is why be careful of your pelvic cavity because your ovaries are actually there. Produce immature egg. The mature egg is swept by a tiny finger-like projections. The one I had telling you a while ago, cilia of the oviducts or fallopian tubes. The egg moves along the tube with the help of a tiny hair-like structure called cilia, singular cilium, plural cilia, that line the fallopian tubes. These tubes extend until the uterus. Okay, this is actually the one of the organs of locomotion for your egg to travel. The uterus is an inverted pear-shaped muscular organ where the embryo may attach. Okay, to the endometrium. Okay, endometrium. This is the lining of your uterus. Endo means inside the uterus. Exo means outside, but it's endo. Endometrium is the lining of your uterus. Inner lining, its inner wall. When successful implantation happens, a female is considered pregnant. The neck of the uterus leading to the vaginal canal or the vagina is the cervix. Okay? It dilates or open prior to the female's delivery. Again, this is the one being break or will be break upon intercourse. Okay? This one will be break upon intercourse. It dilates or open prior to the female's delivery. The vagina is a long, elastic muscular canal where the menstrual blood and the tissues are actually expelled from the body.